Fast! You're going too fast.
Hi, my name is Lucy and welcome to the first episode of my new series called Controlling Timmy. So if you've never heard of me or Timmy before, I'll give you a bit of a briefing about us while I'm warming up. So Timmy is a 7-year-old off-the-track thoroughbred who we brought 4 years ago as a 3-year-old, and we've been working so hard with him to get him from looking like a scrawny rat to a bit more of a horse. And the time has now come where we are able to move up the levels and get out competing. The competitions have been going pretty well at the minute. The odd mistake, but that's bound to happen. But all in all, incredible. But the reason I'm starting this series is not because of competition nerves, etc., as you expect. It's trying to calm him down as such, and get him to actually use himself and jump well, so he can move up the levels more. As the thing Timmy has always struggled with is sitting on his hocks and using himself, which is something we have always known and we have been working on tirelessly. And there has been so much improvement, and hopefully doing this series will be amazing so I can watch back in a few years' time and see how much he has come on. But anyway, enough waffling, let's get on to the actual exercise. So we're keeping it very simple for the session, and the exercises will get more intense the further into the series we get. So the exercise my mum set up was just for simple poles on a circle to really try and make sure he was sitting on his hocks and wasn't just launching them and taking me with him. And this exercise may seem simple, but it really is quite tricky, especially for a horse who just likes to run fast and flat. So we just started at a walk just so we can go round and see how tight it really was for me, which it wasn't, to be honest. And just so he can see them, but he really wasn't very fast. And then we picked up into a trot just so he can do the exact same thing, go around, and he was really good again, and I genuinely thought it felt quite easily. Subtle foreshadowing. But anyways, we started pretty good and we ended pretty good, so it's just the bit in the middle which needed a little bit of work. Now, on to canter. As you can see, he's starting off really well. We just did the 2 poles, not all 4, as we didn't want to overphase him immediately and really wind him up. And then on the second one, you can immediately see he's got more wound up and just wants to go faster, as I rode it exactly the same, so this is definitely something needing working on. And then the third time, I thought was quite good. You can see he's still a little bit on his forehand, but he tried to pull me down, and I was prepared to tell him no. And then when I tried to do all 4 times together, it was very much a rider error.
Having to move the poles out because she's struggling to make the turn. So I'm having to make it easier for her, in which will make it easier for him. So it's not a bad thing after all.
Thank you, Mother, for that. But once we had the poles adjusted and I had a bit of a practice trying to find the right canter to be able to make the turns, and once I found it, all the turns and everything felt so much easier. And I know I've definitely got a lot to work on, because when he's going correctly, he has got so much power, it is insane. And you can see that he's still trying to do the odd little snatch to try and go faster, but he was being very good and wasn't actually going faster. And you can see there's so much more for me to work on, because over this bit I just let him get a bit too long, and then I tried to ask him to come back and he's just not quite listened to me the same. He still did this one all right, I think. Oh no, I don't think he did. But it's okay, and I have no explanation.
Tighten that core up.
Bit.
No, you're going too fast. You're going too fast. You're going too fast.
Well, as you can see, it didn't go very well. I just lost all sort of connection. He just completely ran on his forehand and just beelined for them. So I had to use every last shred of control to get him around the corners. It wasn't too bad, but it's definitely not something we want to do, and we do not want to encourage him to do it more. So we went back to a trot for a second and went round in trot to just get him to calm down again and not just run at them. But it just shows that it's definitely the reason we need to work on this, as he just enjoys running at them and it's the only thing which he finds easy. And and then we picked back up into canter again. He's immediately trying to fight again, but I just kind of stayed in the same position and let him just fight against himself, which it was okay, but he's just constantly trying, so he went on a bit of a circle just to try and make it a little bit less exciting, as they are only bowls and we don't need to be going full speed. That one I messed my turning there, but he's a bit better now. But yeah, it's definitely something we need to work on again, and yeah. And I'm also hoping to do some more exciting stuff for this series. I've got a lot of things planned, and hopefully the further into the series we get, the more exciting things will come, as obviously you don't want to rush and just go back up to the big jumps again, as he's only a few months in. So he's only just got back into full work after his break over like February to, I can't remember what month it was. But yes, we had a nice little trot round, walk off, and then he went out into the field with Tommy, which he was very happy about, and then I had to pick up Tommy's fly mask, which he'd taken off literally about 2 seconds after getting into the field. But yeah, he had a lovely drink, so hopefully we will see you guys next week for another episode of Controlling Timmy, which I think it might be an exciting one. But thank you for watching. Bye!